Brothers of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me the songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. Let's try this again. Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Hope you all are just having a fantastic full moon weekend here in February, the last weekend of the month. And I don't know if y'all are as ready for March to come in as I am, but I definitely am. Because, yeah, it is just a fantastic kind of day. Actually, no, it wasn't too bad. The day at the shop was pretty good, and then home again, a jiggity jig. Oh, hold on. Hey, Marie, the 14th is the same day as Minnie Me's birthday. So there you go. And thank you, Lucid. Really, truly, it's just been, you ever wake up in the morning and you're like, it's going to be a good day. And then you get through the day and you're like, oof, I am so glad it's over. Yeah, it's just been a long one. That's all there is to it. Long, long day. And, happy full moon all. So, to begin with, we are being broadcast live, of course, on iHeartRadio. Tune in and TalkStream Live, in addition to Truth Frequency Radio, and also in on YouTube. So hello, YouTube. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, the like, the subscribe, and all that jazz. And no matter how you are hearing me, stop in and say hello in one of the chat rooms, or send me an email at wildpaisley@gmail.com, and that's WILDEPAISLEY@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, please do so. You can do that by going to etsy.com/shop/Monarch Mountain Studio. Or you can go to patreon.com/TheSpacesBetween. And I do have a cash tag if you want to just support my radio habit. And that is $TheSpacesBetween. And then, let's see, the phone lines are open tonight. So you can give me a call if you want to share your thoughts and opinions or experiences, and that number is 213-233-3998. Or if you're across the pond in the UK, it is 44203-393-2871. So hi, all. Yeah, fantastic full moon. It was really great this evening when I was headed home. As the sun was going down, the sky was clear enough that the stars were popping out all over. Few high-level clouds, but the light hitting the mountains, even though the snowpack is not what it's supposed to be, we do have some snow, especially at the upper elevations. And it was just fantastic. The snow-capped peaks were all, catching the images of the light from the setting sun, and they're just purple. All I could think of is the Purple Mountain Majesties line in America the Beautiful. Yeah, just absolutely fantastically beautiful. Absolutely. And if there's a little bit of lag, I do apologize. North Idaho internet is always fantastic. And let me just make sure that I'm not soaking up Wi-Fi on my phone. Don't mind the closed eye. I'm blind. I only had one adult beverage, not several. Let's see. I forgot to turn something off, I think. I'm trying to type and talk at the same time, and I am only sort of able to do it. You ever tried to multitask? Hi, Nightshade. And hello, Wanda. New name. Hello, hello. Um, sometimes I just can't. If it is buffering a bit, I'm apologizing now. Um, Give it a minute. It's Spudnet. Jessica, Spudnet. Yes. Yes, Spudnet. 100%. There are times when I wonder if throwing a potato across the room would get the message carried a little faster. You betcha. Hello, Miss Deb. I hope you're doing fabulous. So, yes, call lines open. And so in previously, I did talk about full moon type stuff and what this is the wolf moon, the cold moon, because it is kind of cold here. Ish. It might be 19 degrees, I think. And as of this moment, it's I don't know, it's just beautiful. The clear moon, the clear sky, blah, can't talk. Makes for very cold nights in the evening. Yes, it sure does. Oh, hey, look. It will snow on Sunday. Yep, cool. One of these days, spring will happen. But we have about one more real good snowstorm, I think, before we're done. At least here. I don't know where you guys are at. So, yeah, full moon stuff. If you or yourself, or either you yourself or someone you know works in law enforcement or the medical field, you know that the full moon does really, truly affect the way things go. People are strange, or customer service, y'all know too. And people get stranger during the full moon. And often they think, oh no, this is normal. This is who I am. I'm just always like this. No, sorry, honey bunch. No, you're not always like that. You're just kind of bat crap crazy during the full moon. And it's a 3-day full moon. For me, when I look at the full moon, there's the day before, the day of, and the day after. And the day of, yeah, crazy stuff happens. Yes, it does. So, and spring is definitely on its way, but just gotta get through this cold snap, and then this full moon, and by the next full moon, we should be able to start hearing the frogs sing in the pond, if you can believe that already. Maybe. Depends on how March goes. March can go either way. Yeah, very bizarre. So anyways, talking about the full moon, and full moon energy affects our magic without a doubt, and our, not just our magic, but ourselves and the way we approach things. And so I figured we'd just kind of review some moon stuff a little bit, with the phases of the moon and such, and then some suggestions on what to do, what you might need to do on the full moon. Marie dear, I understand that. I'm not sure what you wanted to do on the full moon, but yes. Justin is funny. He calls it the the Karen moon. Yes, the Karen moon. I was talking to some folks today, and it seems like 2020 was the year of rediscovering the family unit and getting rid of a lot of the debris and the stuff that we generally carry around and do stuff, and the go, and adding things to our agendas all the time, and doing the things, and running into stuff, and just never stopping to take a break and focus on family, if you will. There's wasn't as much stopping for family dinners or family get-togethers unless it was a backyard barbecue or something like that. But it was often the day-to-day trivialities of soccer, baseball, basketball, football, dance, ballet, music, band, jiu-jitsu, etc., etc., etc. And with 2020 and the lockdown, all of that came to a screeching and quite abrupt halt. Period. And it stopped. And now, in looking at 2021, I'm putting it out there that this is the year that we kind of rediscover the way that we connect as a group. So not the go, go, go all the time, but, the getting together, the backyard barbecues, the evening bonfires, the get together and, family game night, if you will. The sitting at home and just hanging out with your friends, not necessarily looking at the TV or our phones, although there's a lot of that. But, it was, I think we need more of that connection. And Marie, I'm sorry you had weird stuff to deal with. Seems like that's out there every so often. Man, I don't like the weird stuff. Sometimes. But, the get-togethers, the community, the sense of neighborhood or neighbors. Because we've really, don't mind me, I'm eating my own hair. Bleh. We seem to have gotten away from a lot of that sense of togetherness. Not necessarily the block parties, but the knowledge that your kids are playing at the neighbor's house and just hanging out and having fun and the wholesome fun, if you will. And it's vexing that we had to get so far away from that community or sense of community and coming together to get to the point where it's a new thing, because it shouldn't be a new thing. It should be the old thing. We should have been doing it all along. It shouldn't be a surprise that people want to get together and hang out. Hi, Nightshade. Happy SBAT to you too, my dear. And, I mentioned to a friend of mine the other day that, I really wish that I had a group of friends, local, that, we could light the fire, we just sit out under the stars. Not necessarily adult beverages. Sometimes it's just water, or, whatever. You bring your own beverage. And maybe roast marshmallows, maybe not. But we just hang out, have a good time. The fireside songs, not necessarily the kumbaya, but, just the, someone plinking away on the guitar or the drum or the flute or whatever, and just that togetherness, if you will. And I think we'll get there again. It just it worries me. It makes me stressed a bit, wondering what'll have to happen in order for that sense of togetherness to come back to us. That unit, that family get together or community get together. Deb, you can come sneak in anytime. It'll be fun. And even if it's 10 degrees outside, we'll still light a fire. Anyways, I think we need to do more of that. And not necessarily because it's the full moon, but any night. Just go out and have fun. I am a quarter mile from the river. People float along the river all the time. And during the summer, not right now, there's not much water. It's mostly ice. But it's There's a lot of people, they fish, they swim, they play, they have fun. Why not do that, and then come up here, have a bonfire and a barbecue, camp out under the stars. Will Bambi walk through the yard? Yep. Will Bigfoot rattle the bushes? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, it's just, I think we need more of that. I really, really do. That coming together. So hopefully that's something that we will be able to do this year. Last weekend, by the way, we had our pagan get together for coffee with the Hectic Eclectics group, and it was funny. Everybody there that came for coffee, none of us actually follow the same tradition or path, and so it's always kind of a surprise. Oh, thank you, Kathy. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. So yeah, it just total brain cramp. Lucky has been busy, and she will be back. I promise. Oh, what did I miss? That's what I missed. All right, and so back to the full moon. And yeah, if we ever do have a chance to get together, whether it's a paranormal portal thing or, Burning Man type thing, I don't know. No, it wouldn't be a Burning Man, but hey, get together and do something. Yeah, it'll have to be a potluck because I know there are some excellent cooks in my listenership. I know y'all can make some good food. I've seen pictures of some of it, y'all. So, yes. Yummy food. Yes. So, magic of the moon. So, often when, we are looking up the moon, and it's like, we know logically that the moon is a satellite in our sky. It's made of matter. It orbits. It's been hit by a few asteroids. It's got some dimples and some ridges. It's aged just like the rest of us. A little bit of gray hair, that kind of thing. And, the moon has been there throughout the ages, for millennium. And if you look at some of the potential geographical history, and some of the study and scientific history and such of the moon, that it shares some components with the Earth, and it's possible that the Earth was basically a dollop of Earth that was scooped out when an asteroid hit at some point in the millennium past. And we know this. It is a physical thing up in our sky that's there every day. And it goes through the phases and everything, so we know all of these logically, scientifically. We can see them with our very own eyeballs. For those of us who are near large bodies of water, we can experience it with the ebbing and the flowing of the tides. If you ever wonder if people can really go crap crazy, aren't people mostly made of water? Well, if that's the case, if the bodies of water can ebb and flow with the lunar tides, I'm pretty sure people can ebb and flow just a bit with the tides. So, yeah, that's a real thing. But also throughout history, or the history of contemporary mankind, we've been looking up at the sky, and we see the splendor and the radiance of the moon. And anthropomorphically speaking, we've attributed the moon with different characteristics. In some traditions, the moon is a masculine deity, and in others, it's a feminine deity. And still others, it's a neutral deity. And then in some, it just doesn't matter at all. For me, the moon has a very definite feminine energy. For me, the sun is more masculine. That's just me. And of course, it's all about me, don't you know? And so um, I've always called the moon Sister Moon because that's just who the moon has been to me. Even as a child, I've called the moon as Sister Moon basically since I remember talking to the moon. And I remember as a child going outside by the full moon and reading my book because I used to read a lot. Deb calls her grandmother moon. Yeah. So, and I grew up off the grid, so using moonlight to read was really not a shocker or a stretch because, yes, that's what I would do. And, that the moon's always been there, of course, because the moon has always been there, but that moon energy, I've always noticed it. I've always acknowledged it and recognized it for what it was. There's been times when I've really stepped outside of my comfort zone to enjoy the light of the full moon. It was, have I danced naked by the moonlight? Yes, I have. Are there videos? No, there are not, nor will there ever be. But, the energy of the moon is just fantastic. And so when we're looking at our spell work or our ritual work, does the moon impact what we do? Yes, it does. I mean, shoot. The energy that we put or have that goes into moon water, for instance, that charging of that water changes the chemical makeup of the water a little bit, or the energetic makeup of the water, I should say. And so when we add that moon water, for instance, to blessings or, spells or anything like that, yeah, you bet that energy is changed slightly because of the energetic qualities of the water itself. And so, like, if I'm doing a christening, for instance, I'm generally using moon water for the christening because it is blessed water, just like holy water is used in baptismal rites. Very, very similar. If I'm doing a cleansing ceremony, often, yes, it is moon water because it's blessed water. You're cleansing someone of their energetic stuff from the past and cutting that cord, if you will, to move forward using that same energy of the water. Deb is funny. She says Bigfoot hiding in the woods with a cell phone is taking videos. No. Bigfoot will be grounded. Anyways, let's see. So yeah, energy from the big full moon. Whether it's a full moon or a new moon, if it's feminine or negative, yes, there is definitely an energetic signature to the moon and everything that the moon does. Figured we'd just review the phases of the moon a bit after the break. And then I'll talk about some of the different things that we can do with the full moon energy. And then it's funny. I Google things every so often to see what is out there. And even Vogue is now coming up with articles for the full moon.
It's in Vogue.
It's in Vogue, yes. There's something from, what was it, Red Book? Red Book's a women's magazine, right? There was one, a website was like black men with beards. Was it site? I was like, all right, cool. Everybody's getting on the full moon energy bandwagon here. So I thought it was funny. So on that note, we are off to our first break. And so if you are going out to enjoy the full moon, now's a good time to do it. If you're going to stay inside, go to iLife.com. iLife is the official sponsor for Truth Frequency Radio. Yeah, it's got a lot of good stuff to it. And we will be right back. Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. So tonight we're talking about moon magic and the adventures of the moon. Yes. And so there's 8 primary phases of the moon. Oh, hold on, let me check. Okay. Every so often I have to remember to check the call board. Otherwise I forget. Jessica, Drama's around here somewhere. She was just right here. She'll probably come visit. She hasn't bumped into the camera in a while. Or the new microphone. It's just a matter of time. Because she's a cat. Anyways, so starting with the basic new moon. So the new moon is generally the first phase, or considered the first phase of the lunar cycle. The absence of the moon, or when we cannot see the moon, is considered the dark moon. So it's a time of new beginnings. And often that's when we're doing our intention setting or planning for the future. Sometimes if you are into gardening, this is a good time to garden and plant your seeds, because there's nothing more optimistic than a farmer, really, truly. Whatever it is that you're wanting to accomplish moving forward, the new moon is a really good time to do it. Because all that new moon energy, the potentials are there. Anything could happen. Anything you might want to manifest that is within your grasp. I'm not going to say anything, because there are some things that are harder to achieve than others to accomplish in the course of the 28 days of a moon cycle. So if it's something that is within the realm of possibility, which yes, there is, definitely a real thing. The new moon or the dark moon is a good time to do it. So the new moon is generally 2 to 3 days, just like the full moon. There's the day before, the day of, and the day after generally. And as you're setting your intention and igniting that intention, if you will, it's a good way to set yourself on that journey of manifesting whatever it is you're dreaming about and trying to accomplish. As time goes by, next is the waxing or growing crescent moon. And so basically the moon's growing. The energies are often considered highly magnetic, and it's a good time to perform constructive magic. So basically you're calling the things that you want in life into reality. You're calling it to you. It could be projects, it could be plans, it could be emotional states, it could be behaviors. And when I say behaviors, it's like self-love, compassion, a good attitude. So the energy of the waxing crescent is all about going within and pulling that energy out of yourself, and in beginning the steps of envisioning what you're trying to accomplish and bringing forth into the world. The first quarter moon magic. So with that energy coming out and everything, the first quarter moon is all about attraction from the external world. So what is it that you need to have from outside of yourself to accomplish whatever it is you're trying to do? So it's a good time to perform magic that draws things in. Whether it's a client, new friends, new relationships, success, money. Yes, you can do magic for money.
You can do a lot of things for money.
Yes, Dawn, you can do a lot of things for money, but not all of them are the same. No, you can't. If you've lost something, it's also a good time to, do a spell or magic to, call things to yourself that you've lost. So, did you lose a ring? It's a good time to start kind of calling it back to you. Let's see. That was first quarter. Waxing gibbous. Moon magic. All right. I got to look it up. Gibbous is one of those words that just doesn't make a lot of sense. So gibbous is having the observable illuminated part greater than a semicircle and less than a circle. So yeah. So this is the football shape. Jessica says hi. So waxing gibbous, it's still a constructive phase of building things. And so the things that you have already been working on, now's the time to give it that extra push. That way you can move forward out of the things that may have been stagnating or get some of those projects done. If you've had some problems with motivation, which I get, we all have it from time to time, it's a good time to get those projects done, like I mentioned already, or develop a routine, stick to the routine, or use the energy to help you overcome maybe a temptation or resistance to accomplishing something. And now, Justin is happily planting indoors.
Everything. Indoors.
Yes. Yep, he's the indoor gardener. Indoor farmer.
Well, he does a lot of things, but now he's probably just getting his seeds started.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. So, full moon, which is where we are right now. So the full moon is considered the most powerful of the cycle, which is the exact flip of the dark of the moon, because very similar energy, just one's brilliant and one is a little dark. So if you're trying to address major issues or challenges, full moon, you're shining light on the situation. Now's a good time to face it. Spells, rituals are good to focus on the most important aspects. Also, they're good for psychic development, spirituality, divination, cord cutting, honestly, if you're trying to do, let go of the baggage. Yes. Are you ready to be on screen?
Sure.
All right.
How is my picture?
I don't know. I haven't looked at your camera. I did just remember to turn on your camera. I am getting from here up. There you go. Hey, Mr. Don's in the house.
Go with hello, Naysay. You weirdo.
Oh, Deb has herbs already 3 inches tall.
Wow.
Wow. And Marie has butternut.
Justin says he's planting it all, sprouting it, germinating and sprouting, and then everything goes out in mid-April. So there you go.
I want a wallopini.
I wouldn't mind a wallopini.
A wallopini. W-A-L. You know what? I'm not even going to try that. We'll wing this one. Okay. W-A-L-I-P-I-N-I. It's an earth-sheltered, cold frame greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was apparently used to cultivate pineapples originally.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, according to Wikipedia, which is, very citable.
Well, something like that's been known for like centuries, so I'm pretty sure they've got it pretty on the spot.
Mm-hmm. It's actually a Bolivian word.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it means place of warmth.
Oh, jeez.
That's fair. Yes, I would love a wallopini. That way I could have tomatoes year-round.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows what else you could grow in there up here. Bananas.
Everything.
You get everything. All the things.
Devil's lettuce.
I was thinking like vanilla.
Oh.
Vanilla beans.
Pepper.
Peppers.
No, pepper.
What?
Pepper.
Yeah.
Black pepper, not
Oh.
peppers.
Oh, black pepper.
Pepper.
Yes. Vanilla's an orchid. Did you know that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I kind of did.
Ooh, and chocolate. And coffee. All the things. Yeah, sorry. Distracted by food. We never do that here. Yes, Marie says it's very different from the farmer's market and the supermarkets. Yeah. Homegrown just tastes differently. It tastes better. Yeah, that's even if without, watering it with the tears of your enemies.
Oh, hey, yeah. Not just the tears. We don't live on 20 acres.
Hey, you gotta get that fertilizer somewhere.
Wood chipper.
I hear blood meal is excellent for certain veggies.
Yeah, a wood chipper.
Hey, we don't need that kind of compost.
You brought it up. Ooh, patty pan squash. I love patty pan squash.
Deb used to make kosher dill pickles with patty pans. Oh. Patty pans. So, anyways, full moon. Yes. Lots of good energy in the full moon. Take advantage of it. If for no other reason, go out and sit in the light of it.
Dance in the light of the moon.
Yes. So, a lot of people talk about cleansing their stuff in the light of the full moon, but you know what? I'm going to come back to that because I'm going to continue on. Excuse me. And then we're going to come back to that because, yeah, we will. So, after the full moon, we have waning or getting smaller, gibbous moon magic.
That's when it's really cold outside.
Yep, unless it's in June. And so in the waning phase, the energies are really good at letting go, repelling, banishing, destroying those things that you do not need, or just straight up don't want anymore. So spells and rituals aimed at minor banishings and cleansings are really good during the waning gibbous moon. Sometimes it's in a physical way, which, yes, or in an energetic way to bring closure to something that hasn't really been working for a while. And sometimes we do need the light of the full moon to realize that sometimes things just aren't working out anymore and you need to move on and let it go also. A friend of mine encountered that herself in this full moon energy. So, yeah. Really shining the light on things. Let's see what else. Sometimes you have to do the meditation during the waning moon to learn what it is that you need to let go of and to plot out a plan on how to let go of it. Because you may click, I need to not do this thing anymore. But sometimes you can't just make that knee-jerk reaction and quit your job, for instance, because you're tired of it. Sometimes you have to make a plan that you can commit to so you can get to that point where you can quit that job that you really don't like. So for instance, I don't recommend quitting a job unless you already have one lined up to go to.
Yeah, that's kind of brainless.
Because not having a job and knowing the rent is due in 2 days is not a good thing. That's not a good place to be, guys. So don't do it. So yeah, gain that clarity and figure out what it is that just isn't in line with your ultimate goals. And if you ever wonder what your ultimate goals are, sit down, piece of paper, pros and cons. What is it you do every day and where you spend your money, for instance? Is it something that makes you warm and happy? Or is it something that just gives you anxiety? If it's anxiety, you probably don't need it. Warm and fuzzy, you probably do need it. Well, or at least want it really bad. So those things, weigh out the pros and cons. If you want to look at where to trim and get rid of stuff, yeah, if it gives you anxiety, now I get that paying bills and such can give you anxiety. That's something else entirely. Yeah, try to find a way to get rid of the stuff that's just giving you heartburn. It's not good for you. So, third quarter moon magic with the waning moon. So if you've hit a bump in a road, which we've all done that in our lives, I think, when things just go a little sideways that you weren't really anticipating, it's a really good time to try to overcome it. So, spell work might include things that are going to help you get over the hurdle, or things that may help you to stay strong and not give in to temptation to give up. Transitions that you might be going through, those are real. This is a good time to figure out pull in that energy to figure out the best way to smooth the wrinkles and make the process flow with a little bit more ease. So think of it as optimizing your solution generator, if you will. Because, sometimes you just got to figure out a way to make the spice flow better.
The spice must flow.
It must flow. The waning crescent moon. So as we approach the dark moon or the new moon, the energies are more suitable for performing the bigger banishings, like getting rid of anything that has been just sucking the life out of you and draining your energy.
Lakoof.
Sure, you can get rid of the Lakoof in the waning crescent moon. So there's other things you might want to cut out of your life. Yeah, this is a good time to do it. Sometimes that means you write it down and you burn it in a fire ceremonially. Sometimes they write it down, tie it with a string, let the string hang, cut the string, and let the thing fall into the fire. That's a really good way to visualize a cord cutting if you need to. Big old selenite knife like Mr. Don has.
Bullshit to cut.
You can stab it with your drinking horn, whatever works.
There you go.
So sometimes, you do know that what you need to do, and it's time to just commit and do it. And then, it could be a project that you've been working on that you just have lost the pizzazz for. And that happens. It really, truly does. Sometimes we just run out of the oomph and we're done. And if that's the case, sometimes you just got to let that project go or table it for an undefined period of time. Put it in a box, put it away. Put a note on there that says don't open until 2023, whatever it is. Put it in your time capsule. Come back to it later. Just so you guys know, rabbit poo is also good for compost material. And you can put rabbit, llama, or goat directly onto your garden because it should not scorch the stuff that you're growing. So,
llama's good too. They make lots of fertilizer.
And they're nice enough to pile it up.
Piles of it.
in
They
one
poop in the
location.
same spot.
Yeah, they're worse
every
than
time.
a cat because they don't cover it up. Although drama must be part llama because she doesn't cover things up.
Drama of a llama. That's nice.
Yeah, she's a drama llama. Let's see. Sometimes relationships, we know that they're just not working out. We all know that one needy person that we just haven't quite let go of. We've all encountered them. We know they're out there. And sometimes you just need to give them a hug and let them fly free.
And give them a boot.
And you know what? Rapidly approaching the new moon, that's a good time to do it. Because then it's dark and they can't find their way back.
Which reminds me of a joke I got told at work.
Uh-oh.
I can't tell it.
I don't think you can.
Yeah.
So, focus your spells and rituals on the deliberate dropping or getting rid of anything that you no longer desire. So, if there's a bill in your life that you no longer desire having, you know what? You got to figure out a plan to get rid of the bill, whatever it is. And then, get rid of the bill. Just like the mortgage burning parties, think about it. You pay off your mortgage, that's a big deal. Celebrate by burning the paperwork. Maybe keep a backup copy just in case, but, burn one. Nice Shade says, when burning a no longer needed script, toss some lavender in to send love to it during the event. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
burn you in effigy, but here's some love.
I no longer need you, but that doesn't mean I hate you. Just go away. Don't go away mad. Just go away happy and with love. So, yeah, the different phases of the moon all have different instinctual energies to them. I mean, as the moon gets bigger in the night sky, we know the energy's getting stronger. And just as the moon gets smaller in the night sky, we know that energy is ebbing. And it's, a good time to, as the energy ebbs, to let the stuff go. Just remember, like those in medieval times, what you dump into the harbor might go out with the tide. Sometimes things come back in with the tide. So if you let something go, make sure you put your barriers up to keep the poo from coming back, whatever it
Because
is.
sometimes you don't want it to come back.
Yeah, you don't want rebound poo. Bad. Splashback, no, bad. So, yeah, and sometimes we forget what it is, or we don't put enough weight on the things that we need to let go of, or the things we need to focus our energy on. So don't be afraid to, do a pros and cons list of the different things. That way you can weigh it out, give it a point score, 1 through 10. Hey, this is really important to me. It's a 10. Nah, this isn't a 10 to me. This is more like a 7. Or, wow, I hate this part. It's a 0. And add everything up. And as you, look at what you encounter or deal with throughout the week or month, if it's a 5 or less, stop and think about it. Is this something you really, really need? Do you have to pay the tax man? Yeah, you really do, unfortunately. Do you have to, pay the mortgage? Yeah. Or your rent? Yeah. Unless you want to be evicted and live in a cardboard box because that's all you can afford here in North Idaho. That's, you got to pay attention to that kind of thing. You have to prioritize your bills and responsibilities with the things that you really don't like. So, I will have links, of course, for the show notes, just like always, guys, just so you know. And, okay. So, rapidly approaching top of the hour. Mr. Don, do you have anything to say? 2 cents on the full moon?
No. I really don't have much to say.
Okay. You just talking about llama pool?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They brought it up.
Well, we were talking about gardening and starting
Oh,
seeds, and gardening leads to fertilizer and compost, and
and new energy.
Exactly. Really, truly, composting is very cyclical. New
You think?
energy, old energy turns into new energy, and remember, your compostables can be anything that can degrade efficiently and naturally in your dirt. Break down. Yes. And a lot of times it puts a lot of that good energy right back into the soil. Because Marie mentions that she has sandy soil.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad, being the farmer that he is, cleans out the big chicken houses on the East Coast. And he leaves it in a pile to think for a season.
Mm-hmm.
And then he will mix it in with the sandy loam. And my sister consistently has the best yard in her neighborhood with a fraction of the cost because she's doing it naturally rather than, with add a chemical or two.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad Marie's having a good morning. So I just don't want to start the next thing because we only have like 30 seconds before
That's
break
okay.
time.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah. So
Monday's the 1st, isn't it?
yes.
Mm.
So is March going to come in like a lion or a lamb? Or a 4-year-old toddler that needs a snack and a nap?
That would be called bipolar.
That could work for us, I think, yeah. Because it could happen. So, top of the hour when we come back, we're going to do some singing bowl. And We'll see what happens next. Seen a few. Maybe. Maybe. Waiting for the music.
The bumper music's been really weird lately.
Cue music. Yeah, it's not catching me. So.
Just do the thing.
Alright, do the thing. As soon as I remember which button to click. Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Kimber, go bother someone else. Leave the cat alone. Singing bowl. Ignore the dog. Woohoo. So, speaking of Singing Bowl, next Saturday, I think I'm going to try to remember to do, I should say, the kind of guided meditation just a little bit after the break. So that'll be 1 week. Use the Singing Bowl just like we did last time because I think it worked out really, really well. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I thought it did. Let's see. I don't know, anything new in the world from you there, Mr. Don?
No.
I don't know, I haven't seen you all day, so I don't know what's going on. Let's see.
So what was it you wanted to talk about when you came back?
Let's see. I had a thing. So, it's interesting. I do, my research often, as I have the energy and time and brain space and something to write with. It doesn't always happen all at once, but usually. And it's interesting to me the amount of information I see repeated again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
Almost plagiarized from one article to the next.
That's why we must curate.
Right? So on that note, if I say I got something from somewhere else, it's because I did, and I try really, really hard to make sure I have the links to the original articles in the show notes, or cite the information in some way, shape, or form. If I mess it up, because I am human and I do error, let me know, and I'll fix it. But, some things I just, like last night, that was all me. I did my own thing. So it was just me on my soapbox for 2 hours. But it was fun. It was good. And the chat rooms were really interactive, which is great. I love it when y'all interact. So, yes. Moving on. As I'm just looking here, it's like, I don't need that article. I already read that information. Do I need this one? We'll come back to that one. Do I need this one? It's just like... It's the same information, just repeated a slightly different way. Oh, this one includes different gods and goddesses. Okay, we'll keep that one. We'll come back to it. When you are looking into information or authors to read or anything like that, you want to make sure you're getting the information from a reputable source. So if it's in a book, the information should be cited in some way, shape, or form. In other words, there should be a list somewhere in there saying, hey, I got my information from blah. Or, hey, this is all from my brainchild, so I did not get this information from blah. Everybody else got it from me. Whatever it is. And that's why you should pay attention to the books that you have. Try to not buy the knockoffs from other places. And don't be afraid to journal as you go, because the information or your interpretation of the information that you come across is really important because, one, as you interpret it, you're taking the abstract thought, running it through your own internal filters, and so it makes sense, and you write your notes, and having it available to you to review in your own journals is very, very good. And then later, if you have your own kiddos who are trying to follow you on your path, being able to copy that information or give them a copy of it was really, really cool. Gives you a teaching point too, or a teaching tool, because, as I've learned with homeschooling mini-me, having someone else create the curriculum is awesome. I'm really glad I don't have to do that. And so, having information that you can use or pull from as you're teaching your littles, that's a good thing. So, Naysay, I really don't have much to do already. I had my bottle of cider earlier and gave some to the goddess because that seemed appropriate. And it wasn't just in thanks for the day coming to a close with the office and the store, but also woof, it's done. It was a crazy, crazy day. The full moon energy was riding high with the crazy people out there. I'm just glad we don't live in a larger community, because if we did, that insanity on the roads, I think, would be much greater and stronger. And I had enough of that already. Don't need it at all. So, let's see. What's this one? This one. So, when you are doing moon magic of some sort, it is also good to check where the moon is in the sky, because the moon goes through the different constellations also, or the zodiac constellations. So when that happens, the energy often has qualities to it that are very specific that can be used towards that advantage. So if you are Aries, for instance, and the moon is moving through the sign of Aries, the energy can often help with protection rituals or rituals for control, power, strength, lust, or sex. So if you're trying to learn how to control your own impulsive behaviors and you're in Aries, paying attention as to when the moon is in Aries, that's a good thing. And honestly, a good lunar calendar is good. You can have one, you can buy one that's a hard copy. They're awesome. They're great if you need that tangible thing. Or there are so many apps out there that you can download and use, whether you're an Android person or an Apple person. Just do a search and you'll have some sort of information pop up. Even like Google Maps, you can do a thing where you select, hey, yes, I want all the moon phases. The moon phases will just automatically show up in your calendar. So just be aware and keep an eye on it. So if the moon is in Taurus, so Aries is a fire sign, Taurus is an earth sign, and ruled by Venus. So if the moon is in Taurus, it's a good time for performing rituals around relationships and money. And since Taurus can be quite stubborn, shocker, rituals performed during this time may result in a high effectiveness and positive long-term results. Gemini is an air sign. Due to its dualistic nature, may present difficulty with controlling the direction of your spells and magic. However, it does present a good opportunity for rituals surrounding creativity, fresh ideas, and travel. However, stay cautious because that energy can shift. Just like sitting around a campfire, it never fails. Wherever you sit, that's where the wind is going to go. And the smoke, and it'll be in your face. So, yeah. Cancer is a water sign very related to feelings, so Cancer provides a good time for rituals concerning family, domestic life, and fertility. If the moon is in Leo, which is a fire sign, that energy is great for performing spells and magic aimed at your career, to courage and leadership. If the moon is in Virgo, which is an earth sign ruled by Mercury, Virgo has a very high degree of mental influence. Therefore, this time is perfect for performing rituals involving a great deal of detail. So use the energies of the moon in Virgo to cast spells revolving around health, healing, and education. So if you know someone who needs just that healing energy for whatever reason, there's many, many things to heal from. Full moon in Virgo is a good thing, or it's a good time to do it. Your rituals and such. If the full moon is in Libra, or the moon, I should say, is in Libra, the energies are very conducive to balancing any extremes in your life. So rituals involving relationships, partnerships, and romance can be extremely fruitful if performed under the Libra moon. If the moon is in Scorpio, it's a perfect time to work with psychic powers, divination, and advanced rituals. And since Scorpio is quite sexy. The sign of Scorpio is also conducive to performing spells regarding fertility. So be careful with that. If you want to not deal with any of those things, I suggest avoiding the Scorpio moon. Sagittarius is a fire sign and carries a very strong intellectual influence, which may be beneficial when performing spells or rituals aimed at legal issues, truth, education, and protection. So Capricorn is technically not as stubborn as Taurus. Technically. It's a stable earth energy, though. And this time is suitable for performing magic concerning organization, stability, and ambition. If the moon is in Aquarius, it's a good time for casting spells revolving around friendships, overcoming addictions, and creating psychic abilities. And then, if the moon is in Pisces, it's a good time to perform mental magic, like telepathy. Sorry, can't talk suddenly. Clairvoyance, lucid dreaming, divination, and communication with spirits, that kind of thing. I'm sorry, I'm just hung up on the Capricorn not being as stubborn as Taurus.
Why?
Because I'm a farm kid. I've had goats and cows.
What are you trying to say?
Goats trump cows.
What else are you trying to say here?
Just, I know, in the animal world.
Did you just call me a goat?
No.
You inferred it.
No, I just know that goats in real life are more stubborn than cows. That's why cows can be held back by a single line of electric fence. And goats cannot be stopped by a dam.
That's
made
true.
of cement.
They'll just crawl up it.
Yeah. It could be 20 feet high. They'll still figure a way up it.
Well, it could be a lot bigger than that. Anyhow.
Side note, squirrel. My dad has goats, and he built a fence for his goats. And he kept adding things to the fence and building it up and doing these things and all these things. And then he stopped because he kept changing the fence and fixing the fence and fixing the fence. And he stopped to watch the goats. And the part that he thought was fine had a 4-inch post.
They were standing on top of it, laughing
about
at
2
him.
feet from the fence. And yes, these crazy fools would hop up onto this 4x4 post and leap over the fence from there into the grass beyond. So yes, a cow would just look at that and like, fine, I'll go to the other side of the pasture where the grass is not as green. Justin says I was a goat or has a goat. Justin had goats, apparently, in a past life. Or was a goat. I'm not sure. Stubborn. So, yes. Stubborn creatures.
Anyhow.
Very stubborn.
Moon and Capricorn.
So, moon
You're
stuff. So, wellness rituals that you might want to do during the full moon, which is a really good thing. You know, you got your full moon going on, you're rocking your moon, and I'm trying to figure out what to do next. This is from Vogue magazine.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you never know what you're going to get when you look at a magazine. It's like, yeah. Let's see. I'm not going to read the whole article to you just because it makes me giggle. But anyways, so wellness rituals to practice when there's a full moon. And I'll have the show note or the link to the article in the show notes. So, first one, understand your energy. Actually, this is a really good advice. If you don't know what your energy is, you should probably stop and try to figure it out. Again, this is why we journal. It's important. You may be tired or you may be energized during a full moon. I can be both, and it can be vexing because I just lay there and stare at the ceiling. So, regardless of which you are, meditate. Take a minute and soak it in. And before we go any further, hey, Naysay, you're on the phone. How's it going?
Well, hello. Hi, Donnie. And Paisley.
Is the moon shining bright on everything you want to do?
Oh, it is always such a delight in my darkness when I get to see wonderful smiles for miles, and the full moon doesn't help or hinder, or does it? But a couple things I wanted to bring up today.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know why February only has 28 days?
Because white people can't count.
Oh, God.
I can't confirm or deny that half of me at least has a challenge with mathematics. And it's not the native half.
So,
But Julius Caesar and Augustus Caesar, because of their egos, feeling that they should have a month with at least 30 days or 31, they changed it and they took a day from February to suffice their egos. And then Augustus, he got upset because he's like, well, if Julius has 30 days, then I need 31. And so then he took another one. And so now we have this weird calendar system where once every 4 years we get a day, and then we add an hour and subtract an hour throughout the year.
mm-hmm.
And so it's a wonder why we cannot synchronize with the greater cycles.
Right?
But one thing that's so... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm agreeing with you, dear.
Yeah, sometimes I just swoop in and just throw a bunch of knowledge at you, and then I dip out real quick. So I apologize. I love to hear your guys' voices also. But this particular full moon, according to the Anishinaabe, this is the bear moon. This is when you start paying attention going out in the woods, that you don't stumble upon a hungry bear that just happened to peek up a little early from hibernation. And this is also when you start paying attention to the thickness of the ice, because the spring is upon us.
Yes.
And this has been, ironically, as you guys have known over the years, my constant banging my head against the wall, trying to synchronize with this greater cycle, because I don't have the luxury of watching the sunrise and the sunset. I have to rely on different websites and actually people I call around the world and asking them to help me synchronize with this time.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I wanted to share now that we have this full moon, the next new moon is possibly going to correlate with the equinox, which I'm finding a little exciting,
Mm-hmm.
because if it does specifically, and the equinox will depend on your orientation of where you lay or lie on this how can I appease everybody, this flat, round, global sphere.
Mm-hmm.
If that works for everybody. Not trying to ruffle any feathers. But where I am domiciled, I've been paying attention again to the sunrise and the sunset, and it is ironically not shifting as it should in its normalcy. We should be gaining at least between a minute and a half and 3 minutes of daylight every day. And if you take the time to address this issue, you'll start noticing that the sunrise will stay relatively the same for 2-3 days and then shift, and then vice versa will be the sunset, where it will relatively stay the same and then do a shift. And it makes me speculate that the powers that should not be are definitely not wanting us to synchronize with this greater cycle. Because as you were saying earlier, these opportunities of adding or taking away energies of your tools are beneficial. You're adding or taking away. And I say taking away in a positive realm, because if you're taking away negativity, then that's okay. It's your discernment to make that judgment call of taking or adding to what it is that you need or want. Need or want? What should we focus on? Needs or want?
Yeah,
that
that's a hard
complexes
one.
me a lot.
Yeah. Well, needs, so
Because
often people have a hard time keeping those separate. Needs and wants are not always the same, sadly.
Yeah, especially when all you want is Donnie's love.
Oh,
And it's so hard to get him to share that love, but I digress.
oh boy. Oh, Macy.
But now I just totally lost my brain fart there because Donnie distracted me. You do that all the time, Don.
Yeah, without opening my mouth. I appreciate you.
Oh, well, I could tell you I love you, Don. But
Wow, it is just sappier than Wisconsin right now. You guys.
oh, that's that Minnesota nice.
The Minnesota
But
nice.
there's oh dang it, there was one more thing I wanted to share.
Sorry.
The full moon, the equinox coming on, the calendars being messed up. Oh yes, seeds. We were talking about seeds planting. This is a wonderful opportunity to plant your seeds. Actually, we should have done it halfway between the new moon and this full moon would have been your best. But if you witness when you plant your seeds, that if you notice when your seed takes root, unfortunately you do have to dig at some of the seeds that you plant. So when you look at the depth of your seed and then you watch the length of its root until it's first split, because your root system will follow the golden mean spiral or the Fibonacci sequence when it grows. And that measurement between the seed and its first split is what my ancestors used to discern how deep you are to plant that plant or your seeds in the next planting season.
Interesting.
And then also, more times than not, my ancestors would take 3 fish and throw it there about 5-6 inches deeper, and then they'll put soil on top of that fish, and then plant their seeds on top of the dirt, on top of the fish, because it's a great source of nutrients. I don't know now with the mercury in the lakes how good that is anymore, but that's up to all of you to decide.
Yeah. Well, a little bit of mercury goes a long way. But yeah. Yeah, that's a topic for another night, I think, the whole mercury in our water systems. But yeah, fish meal, actually.
Or when it's in retrograde.
Right. Yes, this last retrograde was challenging. But yeah, fish meal is very, very good for your soil in planting and stuff. So yes. Any other thoughts there, Mr. Nacy? I think we got about 10 seconds.
Yes, real quickly. Another reason why we saw the lunacy during the full moon is that because you could see at night with the full moon, more people would get into mischief and try to do this, that, and the other thing, and more times than not get in trouble with the law for being out during the full moon, since you could see better at night. So thank you for the delight in my darkness, the two of you. May you have a beautiful full moon and your rituals of dancing outside naked in the snow.
Thanks, Naysay. There is no dancing naked in the snow. That's bad. Very, very bad. You don't need frostbite in your bits.
Toodles.
See ya.
Thanks, Naysay. Yeah. Be careful if you're dancing naked in the snow. You really don't want frostbite there. I promise. So, yeah. Bottom of the hour, last break for the night. Tonight is just screaming by. So we'll be right back, all.
Tears of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea. I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me. The songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we're off adventuring into the spaces between. They say talking about checking the ice in Minnesota, in that area. Yeah, that's a real thing. One year, once upon a time, many, many years ago, when I lived in Minnesota, northern Minnesota, I remember Arctic Cat was sponsoring a snowmobile race on Lake Bemidji. And Bemidji is a really big lake. It really is. Not really deep, but it is big. And in northern Minnesota, it gets quite cold, and so they will regularly drive out onto the ice. And, I mean, to the point where they have these little villages pop up out on the ice because all the little ice fishing huts and everything. Pizza Hut will deliver to the ice fishing huts. Blah, can't talk. And anyways, so this race is coming up, and they would regularly park, trucks and trailers and big rigs and all that out onto the ice. Now, if the ice is a certain thickness, you can park the vehicles closer together. If it is a certain thickness, you need to park them further apart to distribute the weight evenly. Well, apparently someone did not drill a hole properly to check the thickness of the ice, because instead of being, greater than a foot thick, it was like 4 to 6 inches thick. And a couple $1 million of snowmobiles and trailers and trucks landed in the frozen lake because they went right through the ice. And of course, because all those vehicles are leaking or potentially leaking in gas or diesel into the water, it's a hazardous material. They're getting getting fined for having vehicles in the water. They also have to hire tow trucks and experienced divers, because not every diver can dive in freezing water like that. But yeah, they had to pay all these extra fines and fees and everything else, and yeah, it just big old oops was had by all. And you got to pay attention to where you're parking. It doesn't matter what season it is or what you're doing. But yeah, if you're parking on the ice, you should probably drill a hole, make sure you should be there or not. Anyways, so talking about some wellness rituals to practice during a full moon, brought to you by Vogue, a magazine. I shouldn't laugh because it's really good information. It is. I mean, understanding energy. So, yeah, if you don't, if you're feeling drained or worn out, you might need to be energized. Or if you're excessively energized, you might need to take a chill pill. That happens. And I personally have experienced both sides of that coin with the full moon. Sometimes I'm just wiped out. I'm done. Put a fork in me. Yep, I'm done. Other times, nope. There is no sleep because I am wide awake. And so regardless of what it is, stop and meditate a bit on yourself, your internal workings and your health, and meditate. And meditation is not just, finding the peace within. Meditating could be, listening to a beat. Could be listening to an ASMR video. It may be listening to music or jogging. Meditation is not just, find your inner silence, your inner peace. Because not everybody has the same path to peace. Not everybody has the same definition of peace. So focus on your breathing. Do some breathing exercises and figure out how you are doing and how you are feeling. If you've got some just busy random thoughts tricking through your head, acknowledge that they're there, that they are there, and let them flow through and put them away. And, just keep on, let those thoughts go through and let them go. And then move deeper and deeper within yourself and the energy that you have to find out, what's holding you back, what's keeping you from getting the stuff done or doing the things or, being the best you that you can be. If it's something within your control, maybe it's time to start looking at ways to change that energy. Do the things that you need to do. So, yes, understand your energy. That's a big one. Really, really, really big one. The next one on the list here, journaling. I talk about journaling all the time, for crying out loud. But no, seriously, journal, 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 journal. Journal your dreams, journal your divination, journal your day-to-day life. What's going on in your world? Stop and think about it. If you look back at, or read articles, I should say, about any archaeological dig ever, the random things that survive through history to be read by later generations are the day-to-day thoughts generally. It's not the big, deep, meaningful dissertations on law. It's, hey, I need milk and eggs and cheese and bread. It's the basic stuff. So, and write down, what's making you stressed? What's making you feel good? What do you wish you could be doing? What do you have that you want to accomplish? Like for me personally, I'm looking forward to gardening this year, because yes, I shall garden. Whatever it is that I'm going to be able to actually get in the ground, we'll see. Because life. But yeah, don't be afraid to write things down to figure out what it is that you need to accomplish. Do you have a to-do list? What do you want to accomplish in the spring? Or fall, depending on where you're at. I have some projects around the house that I need to get done because, you know what? It's just time to get them done. I'm tired of having them hanging out and just hanging over my head. I just need to suck it up, put the energy into it, and get them done so I can move on. You don't have to have a huge to-do list, but yeah, write them down. The things you want to accomplish or the goals you want to achieve. And once you get them all done, cross them off, throw them away, accomplish those things, whatever they are. Read a book that's going to teach you more about life in general, one every month. That's a good goal. Whatever it is that you need to do to better yourself. And journaling is a really good way to move towards that betterment of self. A grief journal is good. But whatever, negative journal that you might have going on, make sure that you are also having a positivity journal too. What makes you happy? What gives you joy? What makes you feel good? What is not a struggle? So often we get tied up and wrapped up in focusing all the negativity in life. I need to fix this. I need to fix that. I need to take care of this. I need to manage that. I got to pay this. I got to do this. And I have to do, and I have to do, and I have to do. Sometimes you need to just stop, take a deep breath. What do you want to do? What would take away your stress? What makes you happy? So that way you can take a deep breath and be the best you that you can be. Focus on the happy. Focus on the joy. Number 3 on my list. Clear space and organize things. I hate cleaning. I do. I am not a very good housekeeper. Never have been. That's not who I am in life. However, when I get something done, I like sitting back and looking at whatever I've accomplished and like, hey, I did this thing. It is awesome. If you ever saw the movie Castaway when Tom Hanks's character makes fire and he's like running around his big bonfire like, whoa, I made fire, Is he a dork? Yeah, absolutely, he's a dork. However, that sense of accomplishment, yeah, that feels great. It feels really, really good to be able to look at a thing and say, hey, I got this done. Now, if it's Mini-Me's bedroom, I know that sense of accomplishment will last all of about 2.3 seconds. And then it'll be gone. So, you know, but that's just life, because kids are notorious for not picking up after themselves and leaving it up to the parents to kind of push them in that direction. So, yeah, it's a real thing. Oh well, what do you do? It still looks good for about, those 2.3 seconds. So yeah, yeah. Next one on my list here: know when to be active and when to chill. As a people, those of us here in the U.S. are often go, 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 go. And we're viewed that way by other nations and other cultures, because you're like, would you guys just shut up and sit down and relax? We need to remember to channel that inner siesta time, because we all need it. I know that I personally tend to feel more energized and more able to get stuff done if I have a chance to, recharge my batteries during the day. Sometimes it's a 10-minute nap. Sometimes it's just sit still in the corner and not talk to anybody. There are times when I will look at my daughter and I will think, you know what? You go play. I need a timeout. And I will. I'll go take a timeout. And I feel better for it, because you just sometimes have to do that. So that's taking the time out and chilling. But sometimes you also need to, go for a walk, go for a hike, and go pick the flowers, go for a swim, whatever it is that, helps you recharge or inspired, and help you to, let go of some of that excess physical energy. You know what? Do it. Figure it out. Nap or activity. One or the other. Maybe you need to walk outside, walk around the house, and then go sit in the hammock. So, if you are feeling lethargic and tired and unmotivated, you know what? Accept it. Your body will tell you exactly what you need at any given time. You just have to remember to stop and listen to it. Just like if you're feeling stressed about being in a situation and you're just overwhelmed by it, your subconscious is saying, hey, what the heck are you doing? Time out. It's time to take a break and do something else. And that may be going for the walk, or, going somewhere and, bathroom, whatever. Deep cleansing breaths, wash your hands, let that anxiety go down the drain. Set the intention, wash your hands, let it go. Because, that's what you need. And number 5 on the list here is don't overdo it. Whether you have too much energy or not at all, or none, during the full moon, don't make the big decisions or the big moves or the big things during the full moon. Because yes, there's a lot of energy to the full moon, but sometimes that energy pushes you in the wrong direction, especially if you're not channeling your true inner needs. So, take a deep breath, figure out what it is, and don't overdo it. If you've got a long list, don't try to get it all done in one chunk of time. And I am as guilty of this one as the next person. Honest to God. Goddess. I am known for overdoing it on a regular basis, because if I've got the energy to do it, I just want to get it all done. Yes, I know I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to take it little bits at a time, but it's hard, by golly, because I just want to get it done. Kind of like spring cleaning. You start in one room, you keep going till you're done with the whole house. Do you stop and take a break? Well, yeah, technically you should. Is it hard? Yes. Yes, it is. So, for me personally, I can't just go through and sweep and vacuum and mop all the rooms at once. I have to do them one at a time in baby steps. And so you have to pay attention to, what you've got going on. If you've got a big task to do, break it down into littler steps, bite-sized pieces. As the saying goes, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Yeah, sure, it's just one bite at a time, but yeah, it's okay. Just do the little baby steps, a little bit at a time to accomplish the things that you need to do. Another one that you could do, light it up, make a fire, light some candles, embrace the fire energy, that aliveness, and celebrate the energy of the moon. So, like today, here locally, we had beautiful, glorious, sunshiny day. In the broad, sunshiny light of day, those doubts, well, he'll do one of two things. He'll either stand up and say, hey, look at me, I'm over here. No, wait, stop, no, come back, I'm still here. Or they'll run and hide, just like a shadow. So whatever those self-limiting things are, whether beliefs or habits or things that you thought you wanted or you don't really need, you know what? Figure it out. You write them down so you can get rid of them, so you can move on. And, when you get your to-do list done, throw it away, burn it. Deb's funny. You could actually take a full moon bath. And when I say a full moon bath, I mean just go sit in the light of the full moon. I've talked about cleansing your stones or your crystals or your things in the full moonlight. So you can make moon water. It's just water that you put out in the light of the full moon. You can charge spells, or jar spells especially, or witch jars in the light of the moon. Absolutely good things to do. Yep, you bet. They really, really are. But sometimes you need to just cleanse yourself. Met a gal a while back, and she was dealing with some stuff, and she's like, what do I do? What's my first step? She wanted to go to a ritual and attend a ritual. It's like, first off, time to let go of the past. Just soak up the light of the moon. Don't do anything wild and crazy. It was warm enough out. Just, take a blanket and a pillow in your yard, take a nap, sleep in the light of the full moon. Be comfortable. Let the full moon energy cleanse the stuff from your body. You can do this fully dressed, by the way. You don't have to strip down and naked. Although if you want to be naked in the light of the full moon, hey, whatever rocks your boat, guys. But, you just cleanse that energy. Let it wash away. Let the energy of the full moon just rinse off the negative stuff that we have that build up just in the course of living life from one day to the next. Another thing you do is, by all means, go to a full moon ritual. Those are fun. They're great. People dance, they sing, they chant, they set intentions, they often have a fire, sometimes it's a potluck. There's all sorts of different things you can do by the light of the full moon. As I mentioned at the very start of the show, I think 2021 is going to be the year of rekindling the coming together or the togetherness of a neighborhood or a community. You know what? I think we just need more of that. We do. We need to reach out and hold hands with our neighbor and acknowledge they have needs too. And it's not going to be just about ourselves. It's not, we're no longer me. Take care of me. So, challenge for March is check in on your neighbor. Yeah, check in on your neighbor. And like, I live rurally, so to check in on my neighbor means I have to drive a bit to get there. And this could be a physical neighbor, or it could be a spiritual neighbor, or sister, or brother, or aunt, or uncle. You know, somebody who you normally associate with, but you just haven't really connected with much in recent months. And just reach out, say, hey, you know, how are things going? Is there anything you need? Is there anything you're stressed out about? Is there anything I can help with? Because life in 2020, yeah, that's stressful for all of us in so many ways and shapes. And so moving forward, you know, what do you need? What do you need in the coming year to make you feel successful, or at least not feel like you're dropping everything constantly? What is it that you need? Send me an email if you need that affirmation. It's wildpaisley@gmail.com. WILDEPAISLEY@gmail.com. I will put it in the chat room. It's amazing. Whoops. Ever have one of those days where you just can't spell your own name? Yeah, I have those too. You're not alone. So yes, wildpaisley@gmail.com. Yeah, reach out. If you need the affirmation, or there's someone to listen, or hey, I need help doing this thing, or what do I do here? Yeah, give me a shout. Say, hey, I need direction. What do I do? And I don't, maybe that's another thing you should remember. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Because you know what? There are times when we all need help. Not a single one of us in the history of ever has been able to do all the things all the time on our very own, all by ourselves. Sometimes you just need someone there to help you. Hold your hand, push you forward, hold you back, just hang out and toast marshmallows with you, whatever it is. We all need it, and there is no shame in that, or acknowledging that humanness or human part of ourselves. Yeah, just let it be. Just do the things to better yourself. And sometimes we need that because well, we just do. We need the things to do the stuff so we can accomplish the things. Because we want all of the things to, everything to work. And yes. So, full moon. Soak up the energy. Tomorrow we start planning on what we're going to accomplish for the month of March. What do we need? What are the tools that we're missing? Do we really need them? What are the goals that we want? And are they going to be, for the betterment of ourselves or our loved ones, or are they just, getting rid of something that we've been carrying around? Because sometimes, in order to better yourself, you got to get rid of the baggage. If you need help, let me know. Otherwise, guess what? The night is over already. Talk about a fast 2 hours, kids. So yeah. Take that deep cleansing breath, soak up the energy, and March is going to be good. I think it's going to happen. In 2021, yes, it's going to be a fabulous year for all of us. For another reason, I said so. So there. So thanks for joining tonight. This is Paisley Wild. This has been The Spaces Between. I hope you all have a fantastic time. So merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. And I hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you next Friday at 9 p.m. right here on Truth Frequency Radio or youtube.com/TheSpacesBetween. See you next time.